can you give our audience an idea of why brand photography is so important? Because I think sometimes they can get lost in this idea of, okay, logo, colors, done.
Yes, absolutely. So brand photography, going in line with what we've talked about on showing up and broadcasting, brand photography is very close to that. And a lot of people are jumping on the trend of having a personal brand. And the argument around having a personal brand is it's like branding, right? You have one, whether you know it or not. It's what people say about you when you've left the room. So what can you do to be responsible for that personal brand? And that goes whether you're an employee or a business owner, by the way. When you're showing up as a personal brand, you need to have a story. Like when I'm planning a brand shoot, it's not about, oh, I have a new dress, I really like this beach, so there you go, I'll wear this dress to the beach, there you go. That's a portrait session. You're pulling together some loose inspirations that have jack all to do with your brand, and you're creating probably some very beautiful photographs, but they don't actually do anything for your brand. Brand photos are all about who are you and where are you going? So I like to try and think of how can we explain to somebody looking at this photo or these sets of photos what it's like to be the person behind the business. Like, what is the horrible dark days, the behind the scenes stuff that nobody wants to share? Can we capture that? But can we capture that in a beautiful way? Does this person work with other people? What does that person that they work with feel like? What are the sets of emotions? How do we shoot that? How do we capture that? How do we make it easy for us to understand what this business owner is about? So, you know, going back to the women in their 50s, I want the cats in that photo shoot because it's a key part of, you know, part of it. Maybe we get a stylist to dress her up in a beautiful haute couture dress made out of black bin bags. I don't know. There's ways that you pull through the ideas of the brand into the planning and the orchestration of the photo shoot. My personal style with brand photography is to always go on the higher end. So I like quite complicated lighting setups. I like to scout really interesting locations. I really like the challenge of pulling off, like finding a really cool place that no one else has thought of. And I like to come with a crew as well, if possible. So I like to have a hair and makeup person on set. I like to make sure that there's a stylist who's helped to work with me to figure out the exact right sets of outfits that are going to convey the brand. And then you can get into other things like special effects or hiring a cool car. Like it goes on, but that is my personal preference in style. But the brand, in terms of brand photography, is usually about the owner and the leader of that business and trying to evoke and explain and articulate in a creative way, in a single image without words, what the brand is about.
Now, how do you take that and then shrink it down for a small business that's just starting? Like, what's one tactic?
So if you're a small business owner, I do not recommend you fork out a few grand on a brand photo shoot session. Like, that is a foolish expenditure while you're still trying to figure out who your ideal people are and how much you want to charge them and what you want to sell them. Instead, I would say you need to start documenting religiously what it's like in a day-to-day way. And you have a phone. I'm sure you have a smartphone. If you haven't got a smartphone contract as part of your first business expense, you need to do that. And you need to start getting really good at creating selfies. So what does it look like when you're on your commute? What does it look like when you're pulling an all-nighter, stuffing boxes or doing a marketing campaign? What is it like when you've got downtime? Which other business owners have you just met? Can you get a selfie with them? Like, the list goes on and on, but you should be creating those photo assets for yourself in a selfie way for as long as absolutely possible. And I have a diagram actually that I usually put up when I do public speaking, and I call it the Selfie Pyramid. And you can imagine a pyramid. So at the top of the pyramid is your uber polished, perfect self in a brand photograph. But underneath those is all of your selfies. So you can see the proportion and the ratio between selfies and brand photo shoot. You can be creating the bottom of the pyramid right now, straight away. Like, I'm at the bank, like, here's a selfie of me at the bank. I've just set up the bank account, or I've just got my office keys. Here's the keys. You know, every single thing, document, and get it out and share it on social, and just start logging it and creating a up. And when you're 10 years down the road, you're going to have all these amazing assets that describe your story. And when you're ready to book a brand photographer in a couple of years' time, you can say, right, here is the bank of visual assets that we already have. This is quite literally the picture story of our business to date. You digest that, and then you come back with a plan for a photo shoot. And the photographer that you hire will be able to do that really easily.
That's brilliant, and such a great way to, especially while you're just starting out, to think towards your future and invest
Yeah.
in user ready.